Okay. So, guys, just have a special guest with me and bringing back one of my favorite people. Up in my MMA, but I like to call him Jonathan. And we're gonna watch Flow Grapplings. We got the times wrong. Now we're actually covering the main event. It looks like. It looks like that. Travis Montgomery, what's going on? What's going on? Shoutouts to Overtime Heroics, MMA. Appleman, what's going on? Alright, so apparently we're at the main event. But I'm going to have to introduce you the way that we agreed to, because that's pretty much what we were doing like the past few hours, okay? So, anyone does not know what we're doing, we're covering the main event of Fight to Win's 143 event. It's a grappling match on flowgrappling.com. You can also subscribe there. Not much, man. Just spending my Friday night watching some late night grappling. Okay? So, let's see. I'm going to wait for my special guest to request. And then we will get it started because the main event is going to happen in just a couple of minutes. So, if anyone does not know the main event for this, it is, let's go, Philippe Andrew versus Victor Hugo, which I know. Oh, hey, okay. Right? Let's see. Come on.
What's up?
Hey, why is it so fast? It's so weird. Okay, well, I'll play some of the songs.
So yeah, it looks like we're just watching the main event.
Is it?
Yeah, I think the co-main event just finished.
Sorry, I gotta play that song. Okay, so we're at the main event, right? The last one
Yeah.
was Victor Hugo's match. Oh, well, that worked out in our favor.
Yeah.
Because we were just trying to figure out the times.
Yeah, at least now we'll be able to keep it to like one video.
Alright, so, okay. So we are waiting for that main event. Oh, I get it. It was 9:46 Central Time. Okay, that's more my time than your time. That's so weird. Why don't they just, like, schedule it to, like, your time zone? But, you know.
Yeah, I just assumed that it would show me my time,
I
but
guess
I
so.
guess not.
Alright, so Travis Montgomery, I'm working on an article right now. Just wanted to say hi. Thank you for joining and saying hi. This is like heavy metal music going on with like Fight to Win right now. So obviously we were so busy talking about other stuff and like planning how we're gonna do this stream that we just realized, oh wait, what's that? That's okay because I have other topics to talk about when it comes to MMA and UFC and specifically talk about Fight Island as well. So you know a little bit. I only know about Victor Hugo when it comes to this main event.
Same. I've just heard his name, but I haven't heard of the other
Yeah.
guy.
Philippe Andrew versus Victor Hugo for the main event, and I will definitely look that up right now, just because, like, obviously, we just like watching grappling ever since that we started the first stream together. So let's see. Italo Velo 88. Hey, we got this one of the same usernames. So interesting. 88 is a very lucky number, by the way. If anyone does not know that. Okay. So I remember like when you were talking about how when you're watching Fight to Win like highlights from other fights, it was
Hmm.
like they were pretty epic submissions. I remember just going to work and saying like, "Oh my goodness, you just choked him out with Kuva's thighs!" Like, you know, like,
Yeah,
I was like
that was
really glad for
crazy.
that ever since you told me and you showed me about it. So everybody should definitely check out Fight to Win promotions. I know they haven't like really promoted it much because obviously with the whole COVID
Hmm.
happening, right? So they're not really promoting these events as much, which I understand because there's no crowd as well, but still as exciting. So, so apparently the main event features two recent. I don't know how to pronounce. It's all like acronyms to me, like IBJJF Absolute Champion. So they're both champions from that. They represent different regions, and we just finished the co-main event just now. All right. So I guess they're still trying to set up or they're introducing the first fight. I can't. Yeah, they are introducing the first fighter. or grappler or BJJ
Yeah.
specialist. Wow. Okay, there you go. Yeah, we're the same, I think, right now. I might be ahead.
You're always ahead. I don't know why. It's not fair.
Well, I'm okay with this this entrance song right here. Good taste, Victor Hugo with the entrance song. All right. So according to what I know, he's technically like. So I don't know how they announce fighters, grapplers, BJJ specialists when it comes to these grappling events because for UFC, right, especially for different
Hmm.
types of MMA promotions as well, they will introduce the higher ranked person last, which I think they just did because I think they just fast forwarded it just a little bit because they didn't announce Felipe Andrew, but maybe that's just my stream though. Okay, so we're starting right now.
Oh,
By
here
the
we
way,
go. I'm
anyone
excited.
does not know
I'm
what we're
so excited.
watching. This is what it is. FlowGrappling.com fight to win 143. Victor Hugo versus Felipe Andrew. I'm guessing this is Gi. So that's different
Yes.
than when we were watching before the first time around. That one was no gi or just grappling. Isn't it grappling? This is more BJJ specifically, right?
Yeah. This is, yeah.
So specifically BJJ altogether, but with gi. And Victor Hugo, I believe, is in the black. I think he was. Yeah, he's in the back. He's in the black. Yeah, there you go. His initials are right there. Thank you for saying that. This is already starting off like really cool, and I have no idea what's happening, but I like all these positions. They're all like kind of transitioning into something new.
He's going for his ankle right now, but it doesn't really have anything in that position.
Okay, like I said, I'm ahead of you, so I'm probably not going to ruin this.
Okay.
My face, my face, my face! I can't. I already know what's happening. Yeah. Tell me what you see.
Oh, I just got to the armbar.
Yeah, right? That's what I saw. Like, my face. Like,
Oh my
literally, like,
god.
I don't want to give it away right now, which I love. I love seeing armbar attempts. Always super exciting to me.
Wow.
You saw it? Okay.
I
So,
didn't, but I
guys,
heard it from you.
that's it. That took, what, 2 minutes for us to figure to
Wow.
cover this event? Oh my god. Can we even watch the replay again, please?
Oh my
That
gosh.
was way too easy for him. Way too easy. You even know that. Oh my goodness. Victor Hugo, the one name that I knew in this whole entire matchup, and he, I guess, retains the belt because it looks like this was a belt, a championship belt. So I'm gonna look. I'm trying to see if they can do the replay again from that moment, but they
Yeah, that was
barely showed the replay. At least that's what I see from FlowGrappling.com. Just an interview now.
what a super dominant win.
That was way too dumb. I was like, transition. Oh, he got the armbar attempt. No, okay. Like, what did he win by? Like, ankle?
I couldn't even see it. I
I
heard.
thought it was. Because that's what I thought. I was like, it was just too fast for me to actually, follow. 10 on star 68. Thanks for joining. We literally it just finished. Okay, we have other things to talk about, but we were watching Fight to Win's main event, and just now, Victor Hugo, he won. Hey, we did it at the same
Wow.
time. Are you kidding me right now? Are you okay? This is like so normal for us. But I believe he won. I want to say he won by like some type of ankle figure. That's what I thought I saw personally. But
I didn't see it, but I heard it from your audio.
I'm looking at the interview right now.
I just saw it and I went, I think that's what happens when you fierce. That's how I feel. I feel like,
Swim like buckets.
With me. And man, look forward to the next.
I think he said like he had the armbar and he went through another submission.
Mm-hmm.
Super heavyweight champion? Okay, well. So he's gonna challenge probably someone. Mike Chen, what's going on? We go way, way, way back. Todd Atkins show, what's going on? So clearly, okay, so here's the replay of it.
Thank y'all so much for coming out and supporting Jiu-Jitsu tonight.
You know anything that's going on
Oh,
right
but
now?
that's a triangle.
Yeah,
Oh, it was a triangle.
It looks like
Yeah.
it, yeah. There you go. Alright, so there's the replay right there. Thank you for the replay, finally. What's going on, Mike Chen? What's going on? We're just watching some grappling. It's so cool. They're doing like this like replay of all the submissions. It's so cool right now for the main event. So now you can see it from that angle. That's so funny to use the music and stuff like that. Definitely some type of triangle, it looks like. The submission. There you go. And he taps. Okay. There you go. Jeez. Jonathan, that was way too fast than what we anticipated for. But
That's what she said.
We did talk about. I know that is what she said. But fear not, we did talk about some of the topics that we will talk about. Obviously, you know, pending this event, because we thought that it was going to be the other way around. We thought that we were going to talk about these other topics about MMA first before reaching this main event. But hey, this makes more sense to me that it didn't start just that late, you know, Pacific time. But all right, if you haven't noticed, both me and Jonathan are both wearing Dodgers jerseys. The reason why is that number one, we want to match. Number two, the Dodgers are my favorite team, and he's from LA. And I believe you have Corey Seager's jersey at the back. Turn around. There you go. Seager, that's right. One of the best shortstops in the game. And I have Kershaw's jersey, which I can't turn around right now because I don't have a tripod, just like you do, which I probably should get. Okay, so that is why we're wearing both Dodger jerseys. He has the home jersey, I have the away jersey. And yeah, I guess that ties into my next one is that like I always wanted to go to LA to visit and also to watch a Dodger game, which I'm hoping will happen July 10th is what they're saying, but those are just rumors because you have to go through a union council vote just like the NBA did. And so that's just pending. But like after that, once I know the schedule, I'm just like, I'm going to LA. I'm definitely watching a Dodger game. I remember you said the first time you watched a game, like a baseball game, you were bored out of your mind. I'm like, you know what? Okay, maybe that person did not know anything about baseball. So, like, I obviously know a lot. And if everyone wants to contribute, because probably if this MLB season actually kicks off, the time that I think it's going to kick off, then please go to unrestsports.com or you can contact me. I'm the social media director there, and we're always looking for contributors. And if baseball season is starting, then I'm really excited. NBA lovers, again, if you are a big ball fans, then please go to that website and apply or come and contact me because the season is going to start at the end of July, and I'm hoping that the MLB season starts July 10th, but we shall see. So, what we did not talk about, even though me and Jonathan talk like literally every single day, every single night, we did not really talk about the fight night that's happening tomorrow. UFC has one. Let's go. Mike Chen, woohoo, West Coast, Best Coast. Hey, what the hell? I'm kidding. That's just like my Toronto pride. I mean, I know, right? He's like totally taking your side. I'm happy about that. Anyway,
what's up.
I'm kidding. I love you both. But basically, so the fight night is happening in Las Vegas, the Apex Center, and the UFC is having a fight night. And I didn't even I knew about it, but I didn't really talk about it. I didn't really see anything about it. Probably because we were watching other things like MMA, and we're talking about other different topics that were probably more important this fight night. And I'm going to be totally blunt with that. So, this fight night is Jessica Eye versus Cynthia Calvillo, former Justin Buckles trainer. Thank you, girl, for leaving that. But that's another thing. So that's the main event. And honestly, I don't really find many of the fights really amusing to me. But hey, obviously fighters gotta make a living, and also a lot of hardcore fans are just itching to watch something related to MMA. So there you go. Also, if anyone has not watched it, I think Flow Grappling, the live event is over, but I'm sure they have either highlights or replays, so you can catch that on flowgrappling.com. Fight to Win 143. And if you watch the other highlights from the other events, really, really cool, submissions. So, according to you, I'm relying on you because you already showed me a few of the coolest submissions before from Fight to Win. Like basically, okay. So I know we never really talked about this fight night, but there are some issues. I'm not even talking about the fights because I honestly don't think the fights are that exciting, and I'm just gonna put that bluntly. But I think that there's certain issues that we can talk about right now that are like just ongoing issues. So number one is that the main event contender flyweight Jessica I she misses weight by 0.25, and I understand that it's not that much. However, she did miss weight in some of her other bouts, and she even admitted on Instagram that it was a really, really bad weight cut, and she should have made better decisions. Now,
Hmm.
I don't like anybody that misses weight continuously. That's why I don't like Kevin Lee, even though he has like a lot of potential in that lightweight division, but it's not. It's just the weight cut, like the lack of discipline, the lack of fight IQ that he has. Even though he trains at one of the best gyms, TriStar Gym. Shout out to obviously Faraz Hobby, George St. Pierre, all of them over there in Montreal, Canada. So what do you think of that? Because she did make a remark like maybe previously in some of her other
Yeah.
bouts saying like, "Oh, yeah, whoever misses weight, blah 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 blah," and like obviously that was like a dig at people that miss weight. So
Yeah, she said that people who miss weight are just lazy and don't care. So like everyone's just been throwing that back at her face on Twitter. It's so funny. I wish I could find the video, but I can't find it.
I know, right? We were trying to find the video, but I'm pretty sure I definitely heard of that before, and it's just kind of like ironic how that happens.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, like I try to give the benefit of the doubt in terms of like the fact that it's COVID and there's not many facilities that are open, or you don't have the same resources as before, which I understand. But if you're gonna make like a statement like that on social media, it's up for grabs for like anybody if like something happens not in your
Yeah.
favor. So I remember when the last time I believe it was right after she lost to Valentina Shevchenko, who is the flyweight champion. She was 5 pounds over with a non-title flyweight limit bout with Viviana Rujo. She won that fight, but she was 5 pounds over, which is kind of, yeah, it doesn't look good for you. Like when you say things like that. Like I personally like I don't like people that make excuses for constant weight cuts. I understand having a botched weight cut. I
Yeah.
understand that because it happens to like the best of us, right? Especially in that fight industry. But at the same time, if you're gonna say something like that, and like the last two times you actually, you made weight, or you barely made weight, or you just went over for so many times, like I don't know why someone would say something like that. I think that if you're gonna make a statement like that, you're gonna have to eat your words. Like if you actually do miss weight for what the second time out of 3 fights. So that's just me. So okay, I don't know. I don't know if this is the same situation because like for me, Kevin Lee, like I had so much promise in him,
I know. I like him a lot too.
right? Like I thought
Yeah.
like I just saw the talent and the potential and like he has all the skills, but then I personally think it's a lack of discipline. He's a very young
Hmm.
fighter. You know,
Yeah, that's
like
the thing. He's still young. Yeah, he's got a lot of room to improve.
I want to see who the real Kevin Lee is personally, just because I think that he's trying to be kind of like Conor McGregor. Especially if you've seen that whole debacle with Michael
Yeah.
Chiesa before. It was very very much Conor McGregor. Pompous, obnoxious, pretentious. Like so, because of that, I just want to know who the real Kevin Lee is. But it's the same thing with Jessica I, because we both think she's like somewhat either annoying or we don't really, dig her style and like her vibes. Because I just think that she's trying too hard, personally, for me.
Hmm.
Like, just be yourself, girl. Like, I just feel like she's herself, and then she tries just a little bit too hard with those statements. And I'm just like, you know what?
Yeah.
It's really, I don't even know how to say this, but like, if a fighter says something about fighters that miss weight and then they do it like 2 out of 3 times, like you
Yeah.
just kind of have to assume that people are just talking and they don't actually mean what they preach, right? So I personally already thought that Cynthia Calvillo was gonna win against. I actually thought that she was gonna win against this guy because just as I don't know, I think she's kind of mediocre when it comes to that division, but that's just me. Maybe I'm a little bit too harsh. What do you think about those two fighting tomorrow with this whole 0.25 pound overweight botched weight cut? What do you think?
Well, to be honest, I don't really know much about either of them. I'm not really a fan of either of them. But
Yeah, me neither.
I'm just gonna lean towards Cynthia just because she didn't miss weight. So
Right, so Cynthia, if anybody does not know, Cynthia Calvillo was actually in the strawweight division, but after so many botched weight cuts and losses, she decided to move up to flyweight. So, because she's missed a lot of weight when it came to strawweight, and obviously some of the USADA issues that she's went through before. So, this is going to be her first fight in 125 division. So, I'm excited. Maybe what's called a fresh start is what she needs, free from Justin Buckles, free from the strawweight division, which is a very, very heavy, like, competitive division in the women's MMA division in the UFC. But we'll see. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. Like personally, I already told you I might be busy during that time. So maybe if you watch it or anyone else does, I'm sure like something will leak on Twitter. So that's gonna happen, guys. If you wanna watch something, either MMA related, sports related, on a Saturday night, UFC Fight Night, Las Vegas is gonna happen, and I believe everything starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, so you can catch that on ESPN and TSN for all you Canadians out there. So the next topic I want to talk about was not only were we talking about the main event, which is Cynthia Calvillo versus Jessica Eye, flyweight bout, but when it comes to Ray Borg, who I personally love, but he just fought, and
mhm.
he lost, but like he just fought, and it was just like a really quick turnaround. A lot of fighters, including Hannah Cyphers, just fought, lost to Mackenzie Dern, but now again a quick turnaround, which is I guess really good in terms of opportunity. I understand like they're probably like really close to Las Vegas, or
Yeah,
you can get there really easily, right?
and they're in shape, so
They're already in shape. They're already like
mhm.
the weight cut shouldn't be that much of an issue. So the headline said that Ray Borg pulls out the fight against Murad because of personal issues, and a lot of people are giving him a lot of flack for that. Here's the thing, with everything from COVID to Black Lives Matter, like all those issues and like really big topics trending, I'm not surprised. Ray Borg having what a few years ago, his son was battling, an illness of his own, and like he was really really young. So I don't
Mhm.
really, I'm not gonna say to Red Bull, like, why are you pulling out of this fight? I'm like, you know what? He just fought, first of all. Like, you know what I mean? Number one, he
Yeah,
just fought. Number two, he's been through a lot, and with everything going on, I don't know why people are giving him flack for that. Like, it's a very big, like, quick turnaround. Things happen, especially with these circumstances. So, like, what do you think of that? I know, like, you probably haven't, like, dived into it as much as I do. No one has really said anything about his personal issues and what they are, but at the same
hmm
time, like, it's a choice. Some things are more important right now than just what you think.
But like you said, I don't really know too much about his situation, so I can't really comment on it too much because I'm not too sure about it. But yeah, I mean, like whatever he's got going on must be really important for him to pull out of a fight. So
Right. And so I don't know why people ever give flack for something like that because they don't know what's
yeah,
going on. I don't know what's going
yeah.
on. Nobody knows what's going on. So, obviously prayers to Ray Borg and everything that's going on right now. But Murab has a new challenger, which I'm really excited to talk about. And basically, he comes from, if anyone knows the promotion Combate America, owner, super nice by the way, got to talk to him, and also people that are huge wrestling fans. Alberto Del Rio, he is like a VP there, a president, so that's kind of fun if you guys want to talk, talk and look at other highlights from different promotions. So Ray Borg's, what's called his substitute, his replacement is UFC newcomer Gustavo Lopez. He's a champion over there at Combate Americas, 11-4, so not a bad record. And the fights are actually pretty exciting in La Jolla, but basically it's gonna come at a 140-pound catch weight instead of like bantamweight or featherweight. So should be fun. I don't know if you know who he is, but like I do, and like basically anyone who wants to watch this fight and wants to gather like more research on Gustavo Lopez, please check him out on YouTube from Combate America. So pretty much, I don't know, like maybe it's because a lot of people don't have much to talk about when it comes to MMA or talk about when it comes to sports. Or in general, just talk about when it comes to like life so far and what they can look forward to. But all in all, I think that Ray Borg, like whatever happens, like him personally, like that's on him, and I don't think that anyone should really comment on that or just be sad. I'm like, there's a lot of fights coming up. First of all, okay, like calm
Yeah.
down, everybody. Right? There's a lot of fights to look forward to. I'll touch on that in just a little bit. And with Jessica, I mean, like you might as well just not say anything if you're just gonna keep missing weight in that division. Okay, that's all I have to say when it comes to that. So the last thing I want to talk about, because obviously this stream went like backwards. We went from talking about the main event or trying to catch the co-main event and the main event, and then we just ended up catching the main event, which lasted probably about less than 2 minutes. It
My
literally
bad.
didn't last them, like literally it felt like a minute to me. Victor Hugo won by obviously submission via some type of triangle, and so yeah, that lasted way less time. However, this late night, it's still late night for me. It's like 11 my time right now. But the last thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that, Fight Island in the UFC is up and running. It's in Yas Island. And people say, like, can I go there? Hey, April, what's going on? Can I go to Yas Island? Well, guess what? If you are part of some type of media that, like, obviously covers MMA and has either applied or shown interest in Fight Island, in UFC 251, and the other fights that are going on, you probably got an email. Like a couple of my friends did. Shout outs to Alex Graffiti, of See the Day Team Analysis, my podcast partner. They've gotten my email saying that. So if you want to apply to do the media at UFC 251 or, at Fight Island, this is how you do it. And people are actually starting to consider actually doing that. So how do you feel about that? Like personally, I don't know about that. Number one, it's expensive for where I live, to get over there to Yas Island. And number two, it's really, really unknown how the circumstances are going to be at July 11th, 15th, 18th, 25th.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Well, I have no idea where that even is.
I know,
And
right? You look at the map right now, but it's literally an island like off the coast of Abu Dhabi. So quite the flight right there. Even
yeah.
from where both of us live, right?
Mhm.
So I think it's entertaining the fact that a lot of people are actually getting those emails, from UFC or from wherever it is. And if any of my friends actually get a spot there, I'll be like, number one, you're spending probably more than $1,000 on a flight. Is it worth it for July 11th? Maybe, because we just talked about it in the other stream, right? We were talking about how UFC 251 is like loaded. It's stacked to the max, probably stacked to the max more than like what I'm used to. More than like 3 bouts. Like we've had UFC fights that are like 3 championship bouts long, but they weren't as, I don't know why, they're not as exciting as this one. You have Gilbert Burns getting his chance against Kamaru Usman for the title. You have Max Holloway, that rematch we've been looking forward to for, I don't know how many months now. It feels like half a year. Probably was half a year. And then we have the weird match to me, which is Jose Aldo versus Peter Yan for the vacant bantamweight title. I don't have nothing to say, like nothing good to say about that one. I'm sorry, I can't. Like it doesn't make sense to me. But we did cover a little bit of that in a stream just recently, and so I mean,
What are your picks again?
my pick. Well, no, we have the same picks. What are you talking about?
Oh, we do?
Yeah, I have Burns with you when it comes to the welterweight bout. Then I have Peter Yan for the bantamweight title, and then I have Max Holloway to relinquish his title as the former featherweight champion. I honestly, okay, I don't know why. I'm gonna like talk about this because I feel like a lot of people are probably going to not like my perspective, but that's just because it's like I'm just telling the truth or my honesty right now. So obviously, Alex Volkanovski, kudos to you for winning the featherweight title from Max Holloway, which we didn't think was going to happen. I remember watching that mortified out of my mind. I was like, why isn't Max Holloway doing what he usually does? I mean, like I guess for you, like just describe how you were feeling when you realized that Alex Volkanovski had like the perfect game plan and Max
Yeah.
Holloway pretty much couldn't do anything about it.
I got the same feeling when Mighty Mouse lost to Cejudo. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I got that type of feeling, just like a whole streak just like ended. It was so sad because like everyone's a fan of Max, but like a lot of people thought that Volkanovski was gonna come out and try to grapple with him, but like people really didn't think that he was gonna be able to outstrike Max because of the whole like reach advantage that he has, and he's like much taller. But like he really had the perfect game plan. Like he studied him like extremely well. Like everything that Max was like normally does, he wasn't able to do. So in the rematch, like
Mm.
it all just depends on if Max is able to adapt and if he's able to change. And I think that he is because I think he's going to show the champion in him and he's going to be able to overcome that. So
Okay, well, I obviously agree with you on that. No offense to Alex Volkanovski. Obviously, here's the thing: you think about like Max's reach advantage, and he's like, well, I
mhm.
can't compete with that, so I might as well just leg kick, right? And that's exactly what he did, and wore him down. I pretty much remember like I don't even know how long it was ago, but I remember right before the match, I said like, what, Alex Volkanovski, if he's gonna win, he has to be the one to be the aggressive person, and he was. Obviously,
Mhm.
especially the first few rounds. I just remember in my mind, just like, oh no, Max is gonna bounce back. Max is gonna bounce back from this, and I guess like from as a Toronto native,
Yeah,
because he loves Toronto so much, and he's competed there 1,000 times. It feels like. I think that it's just a matter of time. I think he can adapt. You know, I think that in that fight, like even he probably maybe underestimated Alex Volkanovski and what maybe he's going to do. You know that Max
mhm.
trains with a really small team. A really creative team as
Yeah,
well with his coaches in Hawaii. However, Alex Volkanovski, I feel like a lot of the Australian or New Zealand, there's like fighters are emerging. Look at like Israel Adesanya. Look at his I believe him and Alex Volkanovski probably train with similar people, if I'm not mistaken. Just because I've seen a lot of pictures with them together, like them
you
cheering.
said you said Alex and Israel.
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah,
believe
they
he's like
train at City Kickboxing. I think Dan Hooker trains there too.
I was gonna talk about Dan Hooker because he has a match coming
Oh
up.
yeah, I'm so excited for that. That was announced today, right?
Sure was. Who do you think
Dan
is gonna win?
Hooker versus Dustin Poirier. I think Dustin Poirier is
Yes.
gonna beat the brakes off of him.
Well, here's the thing. I
I
don't even think that Dan Hooker's that impressive. You remember his fight against Paul Felder? Paul Felder
same,
clearly
yeah,
won. Okay, like he
I
clearly won
agree.
that fight. Hmm.
Yeah, I just don't also don't really like Dan because he talks a lot of shit. So and then, yeah, I just really don't see him beating Dustin at all. Like
Yeah.
especially with what Barboza did to him. Like, but it's gonna be a good fight nonetheless.
Yeah, I agree. I think that okay, like honestly, the whole Dan Hooker trade for me ended that last match against Paul Felder because it was just way too obvious, and the judges were swayed by the fans from the hometown, which was in New Zealand, and so like
Hmm.
it's just kind of for me, you were not as impressive because Paul Felder literally did everything, especially when it comes down to
Yeah,
speed. He won so many. I
100%.
thought he won so many more significant strikes, but hey, I'm not a judge at the end of the day. But I honestly think that a lot of people probably disagreed with that decision. And Dustin Poirier is just more well rounded. I mean, he did fight Khabib. He almost submitted him, even though we don't want to think about that. But he did hold up his end of the bargain when it came to that match. And no offense to Dan Hooker, but he's no Khabib. Okay, so I think that Dustin Poirier is probably gonna win. He has like the knockout power too to actually
Hmm.
stop Dan Hooker in his tracks. Countering
Yeah,
wise, catching him at a time. So I'm just like, I would be surprised if Dan Hooker wins that match. Let's just say that.
me
No offense
too.
to Dan
Me
Hooker,
too. I
right?
don't see it happening at all, but who knows?
Right. So, I mean, in other news, there's a lot of different fighters that are really big. I don't know, a lot of people talk about them, whether good or bad, that are making headlines. And we kind of alluded to that, Jorge Masvidal, Conor McGregor retiring for the third time, Henry Cejudo actually retiring, because that was a really weird situation.
Yeah.
he said like I'm gonna retire, and then he won against Dominic Cruz, right, with that early stoppage TKO, and then after that he's like, yeah, I'm gonna retire. I was like, huh? Like I was probably watching with you, like most likely. Like, is he
Yeah.
actually retiring? And then he said like, yes, he is, and he said, no, I'm not, and he said, yes, he is. Like that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened with Henry Cejudo. So I mean, good on him. I personally think that he is so much like more. I'm not trying to be biased. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of Henry Cejudo, but he's a very, 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 very good fighter, and especially wrestler, decorated wrestler. And that right. And I just felt that he was just like at his best. Especially when it
Hmm.
comes to talking about like how he fought against Dominic Cruz, which was like it was heartbreaking for us to watch. But unbiases aside, it was really impressive. So I think that he might come back. I don't think this is for like this is some type of Conor McGregor crap going on. You know,
He said that the only way he would come back is if he were to get a title shot at 145 against Volkanovski. Did you hear that?
yeah, I think I heard something like that. I'm like,
Yeah, and they're calling it C4 or whatever. So that would be a really good fight. I mean, because like
yeah,
I guess Alex is like the closest one to his size,
yeah,
you know.
that's right. Yeah,
So um, for that fight, I don't think I would have him beating Alex, to be honest.
I like. Okay, I actually think that their skill level is almost neck and neck. I actually think that Cejudo actually improved his game a lot to me. I
Hmm.
think that's the reason why I think that if this whatever fight, catch weight, I don't even know, okay, happens, that I think Cejudo, like for me, I was just like, why are you even stopping? You look so good every single
Yeah.
fight. You look incredible, which I don't want you to look incredible, but you do. Like, but it's true, right? And
Hmm.
because of that, I was like, I didn't understand his retirement at all, and I think that Volkanovski, I don't know why. I feel like I've seen him improve, but for some reason with Cejudo, I seen him improve in strides because obviously as champion, like he's obviously faced more higher competition. And for Alex Volkanovski, his only higher competition was Max Holloway, in my opinion, in that division. Especially if maybe he is fought, fighters that are higher up right now, but back then they weren't as good of a fighter, in my opinion, and that's why he's probably beaten them. But I feel like I'm just hating on Alex Volkanovski. I'm not trying to. Honestly, I'm sorry. But it's just okay. Okay, let's just put it this way. Okay, you go from having a really eccentric, kind of like down to earth champion like Max Holloway, who is like not even borderline arrogant. He's just confident. He just knows what he wants, and he knows that he's good. And then you go from that to like kind of like an everyday, someone that you would see from New Zealand or like Australia, someone like that you see on the street, someone that could be your best friend, someone could be your neighbor, someone that could be like someone that you want to hang out with, you know, and chill with. That's how I see Alex Volkanovski. I don't see him as like some type of really big marketable champion, and that's like a really big statement from me, from
Hmm.
my background. But it's hard because you go from someone like Max Holloway, and then from before Max Holloway, you had Conor McGregor, and before Conor McGregor, you had
Yeah,
Jose Aldo. Like so it's like kind of
that's
like
true.
imagine just trying to in a way, exceed the next or the champion before that, and then before that, and then before that, and all three of them, Max Holloway, Conor McGregor, obviously Jose Aldo before, huge decorated champions in their own right. So
Well, you're definitely hating on Alex.
shut up. I'm so sorry. Like,
Um,
it's hard for me because I really like Max, and like he to me is
yeah,
what a champion is. Alex Volkanovski,
100%.
skill wise, 100%. He's a champion. Like beat
Hmm.
the champion, someone that we didn't think that could beat Max Holloway, but he proved this wrong. And let's go.
Hmm.
Let's set age. Let's go 18. Thanks for joining. People are
Um,
awake at like 11:39 my time, but that's Eastern. So, but we're just talking about because Jonathan called me on hating on Alex Volkanovski. But here's the thing: I just used to like a different kind of champion for featherweight. That's all I. That's all it is. Like for me, skill wise, I think that Alex Volkanovski is underrated compared to what people think. Obviously, after his match against Max Holloway. So, well, he's gonna face
well,
him
I
again.
also think Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing with Max. Like the reason he was so popular, like he wasn't like as popular in the beginning, but like overall his title defenses, like that's how he like, built his brand. So give Alex a chance, okay? He just got the belt. Stop hating.
Yeah, but he's gonna have to give the chance back to the former champion who defended his belt like how many
Hmm.
times, in featherweight so far, and he was like on his way to being the best. Some people even said that he was better than either Conor McGregor. For sure, he was better than Conor McGregor, but like some people said that he was better than Jose Aldo as a champion.
Hmm.
That's like a huge statement. I don't know if I agree with that
Yeah, well, there's,
personally.
there's definitely an argument there. I don't know either, but
Yeah.
yeah, you could definitely argue that.
Um, it's not just the defenses. I think that the people that he's faced, obviously, number one, Jose
Right.
Aldo,
Hmm.
and like that was probably. I mean, I would love to see him kind of revenge his loss against Conor McGregor because I think that he could beat him like right now, personally.
100%. Yeah, me too. But
Anybody
I
who's a
don't see
Conor fan,
Connor
I'm
ever
so
going
sorry.
back to 145.
Right? I'm so sorry.
If
Anybody who's
you're
a
a
Conor
Connor
fan,
fan, get off this stream,
do not.
please.
Okay, don't be me. Now you know who's hating on some type of fan. Okay, right now.
Yeah, I'll admit I'll hate on Connor. I'll admit that.
I don't even see Connor. I see more of his whiskey at my store than I see of him. You know what I mean? Like for real. Okay. So if anybody does not know, I do work at a liquor store. That's the reason why I made that statement right there. So proper 12. You are so popular because of the fact that it's from Conor McGregor. The Conor McGregor, he just retired for the third time. I just think that he's just ducking. He just wants to wait till his moment where he can face someone that's like a huge money draw, and
Hmm.
at the same time he wants to duck everybody in. Was it lightweight? I don't even know what division he wanted to fight at because
Yeah,
he
he just
wanted
feels
that
so
whole thing.
entitled right now.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Speaking of lightweight, I don't even want to talk about it, but because I keep avoiding the whole Khabib versus Justin Gaethje. I'm actually scared out of my mind for that one, and that's a good thing for lightweight because a lot.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
excited for that. Gaethje definitely has the ability to knock out Khabib.
Oh my
Will
god.
it happen? Don't think
Don't say
so.
not
But
don't
can
don't
it?
say it's not gonna happen. Don't jinx it, please. You not.
He has the best chance to knock out Khabib out of anybody in the lightweight division. I still believe Tony has the best chance to beat him
Yeah.
just because of the styles, but to knock Khabib out, it's definitely Gaethje.
Well, because Gaethje has the best knockout power in that division,
Hmm.
hands down.
And the wrestling credentials to keep it on the feet for as long as he needs. Connor doesn't have that, and Gaethje obviously does. So
So
you should be
this is my
very
plan.
scared.
Oh, I am really scared, first of all, and like here's my thing. I want to pretend that I respect Justin Gaethje's wrestling credentials, which I do, but I just barely have seen them. I've only seen like
Hmm.
highlights from other fights that he's had in the past. At the same time, obviously I know his coach alluded to some type of secret that not Connor, sorry, Khabib has when it comes to taking people down in fights. I think that Khabib is smarter. Obviously, he has his dad on his side. His dad is a freaking legend, and like he
Hmm.
is a freak of nature himself, and he is probably one of the best, if not the best, training camp. Also shout outs to AKA right there with Daniel Cormier, who has a fight coming up in September. No, not September. August. September is Khabib's fight. I'm getting like lost right now. There's pretty much, you know what happened? So Fight Island happened, and they said like, okay, July 11th, but 15, 18, 25th, all Fight Island. Then they talked about how, you know, Zipe versus Daniel Cormier 3 is going to happen. Like, it's in
Hmm.
August. Like, okay, I can like keep track of that. Then they said that Khabib versus like Justin Gaethje was going to happen in September 19th. Like, there's like everybody, all of it just came at once. So that kind of is exciting. It feels like a long time away. So
Yeah.
I'm not like, I'm nervous for like Khabib versus Gaethje, but I'm not like super excited yet. I don't know why it's not hitting me, but maybe
Yeah, I
I'm
feel
slow.
the same way. Yeah,
Yeah.
like once it starts getting closer, then like you'll feel it. It's always when it's like the next event, like that's when you
Mm.
feel it.
We have less than a month. Literally less than a month. It's June 12th right now. We have less than a month until UFC 251. Okay, now I'm getting a little excited.
Less than a month.
Okay, everybody, all the fighters, bubble wrap yourself, sanitize yourself, be safe and clean, because I do not
Please.
want that whole card to be messed up. That card literally could be the best card in all of like UFC in terms of like this year and like maybe all of the different years that I've watched. I haven't gotten excited for like a huge pay-per-view like that in a long time. So, Khabib, I'm so sorry, but I'm going to disagree with you on Usman. I love Usman. I do love him. He was my favorite back in the Black Zillions versus ATT tough. But Gilbert Burns, man, I love a good underdog story. So, man, oh man, I don't know what's gonna happen because like I'm not gonna underestimate Usman. I still don't. I don't even have a winner. Like I think Burns could pull it off, especially of how he's going right now. But it doesn't mean that because Usman is Usman, that he is going to stop him like how he stopped Kobe Covington, right? So.
Well, I'll just reiterate what I said last time. So, like I said, I know Gilbert Burns like more as a grappler. Like I've seen more of his grappling matches than I have his fights, so I know like how amazing he is. If Usman tries to wrestle him, he's going to get submitted. There's no way he's going to be able to do what he did to Woodley to Burns. And if it's on the feet, if you look at their past common opponents, Tyron Woodley, Usman wasn't able to drop him, and Burns was. The other common opponent was Maya, and Burns knocked him out. And for Usman struggled against Maya. So I really see Burns winning this. Hopefully by submission. Hopefully. I always love a submission.
You remember we were talking about like we're saying, oh my god, can you submit Woodley, and we would all just be really excited. Right now we'd be lit. And basically, obviously, Woodley's not a joke or anything like that. He was a former champion, very decorated welterweight. So, that didn't happen. But, Burns just looks like he kind of just emerged from whatever cocoon that he was in. I was like, he was good. I already knew he had all the resources, but at the same time, like that fight, which really opened my eyes to like how good he actually could be. And obviously, his kind of personality, a lot of people on Twitter are very, very much a fan of Gilbert Burns, always being like, I'm ready. Next week. Okay, next week. I'm ready.
He's not afraid of anybody.
No weight class.
Very
doesn't
rare.
matter. He's not afraid of it. So like I love that about him. Woodley was kind of questionable to me because I feel like him versus Leon Edwards was kind of like, okay, he was ducking him at first, and then he's like, okay, no, I'm gonna take it. And then like once this whole thing happened, well, it didn't happen, obviously. So for me,
where do you think Woodley goes from here?
Sorry.
Where do you think Woodley goes from here?
That's a good question. I don't think I've thought about it. He thinks that he's just gonna move on. Hey, MMA fortune teller, what's going on? So, we're just talking about Woodley just after the whole Gilbert Burns fight with him. One of the best fight nights ever, that I witnessed, especially this year. So, I think that he said that he's just gonna move on from it, kind of thing. Like, there's no excuses for him losing. I would love to see him be in one more match, and then if something like if he doesn't win, and in that fashion, especially if his opponent dominates him the way that I thought that he was going to show up like that, personally. No offense to Tyron Woodley fans, honestly. But I honestly thought that he was going to show up as the Woodley that we were used to seeing right before he stopped, right?
Yeah.
I know we were a little bit biased with Burns, but I honestly, in the back of my head, thought that he was going to show up as the Woodley against Lawler, as the Woodley against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson Part 1. Like, so I think that I would love to see him in one more fight.
Me too.
Something epic, because he deserves it, honestly, as someone who he only he lost twice, but to Usman, and then Burns is obviously the biggest kind of upset that many people probably have. But Gilbert Burns, I think.
But all I know is for the 170-pound division, if GSP were to come back right now, Burns submitted, Usman knocked out, Kobe knocked out.
Okay.
The GOAT.
I mean,
as much as I like Usman and Burns, GSP is the greatest of all time. And if you disagree, you're wrong.
I think a lot of people have mixed emotions when it comes to GSP. Obviously, that whole fight against former boss Bisping, that was epic. Obviously, starstruck. Bisping to beat not just being biased because I worked with him, but he to me is the best trash talker in the game, and so I thought it was kind of fun
That's why it
because
was more sweet to see him get his ass choked after doing all of that. I hated him for that whole build up. He was so disrespectful. I was so happy to see that.
I mean, you know that like. When I worked with Bisping, I always nudged him a little bit about GSP. He knew because I was Canadian. I've been a fan of
Hmm.
GSP since I was like pretty much 18 years old, and so GSP's always been my goat for the longest time, and he probably still is. And I know that because you love BJJ. We were just watching Fight to Win 143. If anyone has not watched those highlights, and we definitely did not watch most of those fights, but you can check out the highlights at flowgrappling.com or on Twitter or on any social media platform because I'm sure a lot of people are watching it or did watch it. And that main event was quite spectacular. Victor Hugo, with like literally less than 2 minutes, it feels like, won his match against Felipe Andrew and retained his belt as the super heavyweight champion. Super heavyweight. Gosh, I gotta look that up in terms of weight class and like his height, and all those specs. But yeah, that's what we were doing on a Friday night. I feel like we spent more time like coordinating hair and like outfits than we actually
Yeah.
watched the BJJ and the grappling. So I obviously feel that a lot of my friends wanted to watch Flow Grappling's or Fight to Win Promotions 143 event, but it wasn't showing on a couple of different streams. However, I'm telling you guys, that main event didn't last that long, so you could probably watch the entire thing online. Someone probably screen recorded it or something like that. And it's on flowgrappling.com's website. So I don't know why we keep always circling back to Gilbert Burns in our conversations. We're just
He's
like,
so good. He's amazing.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The hit profile web. Let's go, Paul. I worked with him. We were at Centennial College, which is my alma mater, and he is both a professor and a really great soccer coach. So if anybody in the Toronto area wants to play some soccer, I don't know if it's opening up, Paul, but he is really serious about his soccer. So please contact my main man right there. And he was actually like doing the marketing for the varsity team back in my college. I'm good, man. I'm busy. I don't know what like. Are you still teaching at Centennial? He's probably teaching some online courses. I know that global citizenship and all that. I know no soccer till January. Oh my gosh, your boys will be so sad. I know, but no sports, no anything until like a long time from now. However, like I said, basketball fans, LB is starting a day earlier, July 30th. That's good. And Centennial College, anyone who is thinking of going back to school, it's a really good one back in Toronto. And international students, come on down. Like we have a great facility and a lot of great professors and a lot of good friends. So there you go. So yeah, NBA is coming back. Auntman Levita 75 join. Thank you for joining. Literally did not expect this the stream to be this way. That's okay. I was actually worried that it would be a little bit later for us
Yeah.
East Coast, viewers and people watching this Instagram live. So
We
not
both
much
thought it
time.
was odd. It was starting so late.
Yeah, and then we're like, oh no, it was Central Time, not Pacific Time. Like
That
it's
was all my fault. 100% my fault.
I told you we spent more time trying to coordinate outfits and hair than we did just watching the event. So you're telling me the entire time it was like literally closer to my time, Eastern time. That's okay. We at least got to see the main event, which is probably us casuals when it comes to grappling and BJJ. We were probably just looking forward to that more and more. So other than that, not much to report when it comes to MMA. I mean, a lot of the different promotions are not really saying much. Bellator is not saying much. One's not saying much. PFL is canceled for the 2020 season. Every type of promotion is just kind of like going back to like older fights, which is kind of fun to watch. But for me, I'm just like I can only do that so much, and I get bored really easily. So I'm kind of glad that UFC's doing this. However, if anyone gets sick, anyone gets COVID, I'm gonna be pretty pissed. The whole Jacare Souza thing, that first, fight night or event that was happening, I was mortified. I was like, I can't believe that they not saying that they should have canceled the event, but he obviously stepped on a few scales, went the same pathways as other fighters. I was like mortified to say like he actually got it, his team got it, and they didn't cancel the event. So I guess they were lucky in the sense that no other fighter got COVID, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that because like obviously as a fan I would love to see an event, but as a human being, like looking at everything that's happening, it just makes no sense to me why they wouldn't cancel that event. They only canceled their fight, but everybody else stepped on the same scale. What happened? They realized that there was COVID and then they wiped everything down. No, that's not what happened. So I mean, so anybody who wants to watch some MMA, like I said, UFC Fight Night, Calvillo versus I is happening tomorrow night. I believe it starts at 6 p.m. Eastern, and it's happening at the Apex Center in Las Vegas. So, a couple great fights there. None that tickles my fancy, honestly. No offense to everybody. I know a lot of people are probably like a little bit bored. They want to see a little bit more sports or MMA. And UFC is the only. I think UFC is the only one. No, boxing came back. I lied. Boxing came back as well. Besides, obviously, grappling, which is what we talked about. So there's like a couple of boxing matches that happened a few days ago. So really weird when there's no crowd.
Yeah.
Especially at boxing, right? You can't do the in-ring entrances. Deontay Wilder with his freaking 40-pound studded vest and stuff. You can't do that anymore. And so,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Did I tell you? I told you who my favorite boxer was, right?
I don't think so.
Oh my!
Oh wait, Pacquiao?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's my favorite boxer. Remember I told you how I got into Pacquiao was because basically a lot of people can't figure out my nationality. Don't give it away right now to people that don't know my nationality. So they thought
Mexican.
Yeah, totally. Ryan Garcia, all the way. I'm kidding.
Ryan Garcia.
But,
His fight's actually, he's not sure if it's gonna happen either. I heard a post on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, he's really social, like so active on social media. So he's always posting stuff. I always see one of his stuff on Instagram or on Twitter. But yeah, basically people didn't know my nationality, and they, I'm not, basically it gives away I'm not Filipino. But basically a lot of people when I was at sports venues, bars, and stuff like that, when the Pacquiao fight was happening, they would rush me over. And I'm like, what's happening? It's like midnight, right? Like what's happening in a bar? And it was a Pacquiao fight. And ever since then, Pacquiao is so fast. For a person his age, he is still super fast. I remember one of his last fights. I was still impressed in terms of like the fact that he is 40 years old and he still can fight that way. And he dominated most rounds, and then he kind of just relaxed, just won by that. So, did I ever ask you who your favorite boxer was? I mean, right now. Okay, fine, right now.
Do I have one?
Ali's my favorite of all time.
Yeah, probably that one for me too.
Yeah, remember right now. Do you have a favorite boxer right now?
Oh, Triple G. Yeah, Triple G.
You like Triple? I like Triple G. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta stay low on the Pacquiao because the inner, Filipino soul in me says to always cheer for Pacquiao.
I just think Triple G is he's just such a humble guy. Like I went to one of his fights and he literally just went around the ring just to shake people's hands and stuff.
One of his fights? Oh, this is
it's on my Instagram.
I'm totally making this clip on Twitter. You did? Seriously?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Chris Cyborg was there. She was 10 feet in front of me, watching the
you
fights.
probably could hear her too, with that. Okay, with 2 minutes remaining, we're gonna close off this stream, and I know you guys are probably thinking more about fight to win, but honestly, there was not much to report when it came to the main event. It happened in literally less than 2 minutes. So obviously, I want to thank you, Jonathan, for always going on my streams, and we're gonna do another one, and I haven't revealed what it was, right? So.
I was about to reveal it. Oh.
No, we'll reveal it and we'll record something else. Okay, we'll record something else and we'll reveal what it is. Okay. Alright, so anyways, thank you everyone who joined, especially people from my end as well. And we will talk to you guys in a little bit because we are going to reveal our new stream, which is something that's probably never been done before. So I'm really excited about that. So stay tuned for that. And again, if you want to follow Jonathan, you can follow him on Instagram. You can follow him on Twitter if you have that at @MMA. So there you go. All right. So I'll talk to you in a little bit. We gotta record something. We have to reveal what this stream is, and then we'll go from there. Everybody, go ahead and watch UFC Fight Night tomorrow. And also some boxing matches that are happening. And we will see you guys in a little bit. Okay. Bye, Jonathan. Okay, I'll talk to you in 2 minutes. Okay, bye.
Bye.